This is the end. Hi, fans of high-quality entertainment. So I have been reviewing all of George Harrison's studio albums. And in case you don't know, I've always, of course, loved George Harrison, especially in the Beatles. But I didn't really follow his solo career that much, off and on. So I did know some albums, and some albums I didn't know at all. So this has been, I think this is probably my favorite, best series of ranking an artist albums, because I really took my time. I listened to, especially the albums I didn't know well, I listened to multiple times to make sure I knew the album very well. And so it started with Wonderwall Music, which I rated very highly. And then my least favorite was next, Electronic Sound. And then something called All Things Must Pass, you might have heard of. And I was so impressed with this, Living in the Material World, one of the albums I did not know very well. And you'll see the ranking at the end for all of these albums. And then Dark Horse, which I think is underrated. Extra Texture, read all about it. I thought it was a good album. Maybe not a great album, but I thought it was good. And 33 1/3, which I knew pretty well from before. Self-titled George Harrison, very impressed with. And Somewhere in England, which was good. And Gone Tropo, which was okay. Some good songs on it. Then Cloud 9, which was awesome. And so this is my final review, and after this, in a few days, I'm going to do either a top 20, maybe top 25 George Harrison songs, because from, getting to know all of his material, I've become, like I said, a huge fan. So lots of great songs. And I listened to this. I knew this, I'd heard it in the past, but I didn't really pay it much attention until becoming a fan. But I played this probably 8 times in the last few days. It's actually still in my CD player. I don't know what that is. If anybody can let me know. It's kind of cool though. And there, the cover. What do you think of the cover? I think it's okay. It's kind of different. Brainwashed by watching TV, I guess. The gatefold. So this album, I think, is one of his best. I knew, reading even few years back, I knew a lot of fans consider this one of his best. And so I had to listen, the first time I did like it, but every listen I just enjoyed it more and more and more. And the last, I'd say, four listens, I knew what review I was going to be giving it and the rating. So the one thing is, you could tell right away, the opening song Any Road, George Harrison's vocals are excellent on this, but you could tell they were a little rougher. He had been through, that knife attack, which some people I don't think realize how close to death he was with that attack with him and his wife. But, pretty big scare. And then, of course, him battling cancer and him knowing this would be his final album. But his vocals are great on this and very upfront. And I would just say it's a beautiful album. Lots of great slide guitar on it, excellent production. Congrats on Jeff Lynne and George's son for the production. It's not as ELO-ish as, some of Jeff Lynne's previous productions of other artists. There's even some of his vocals kind of give me a Bob Dylan kind of a vibe in the vocals. Lots of very moving songs. I don't even have any favorites. I love every song. Pisces Fish, I'm a Pisces, as is George, so that I love that song. What I love about this album, it's almost like a overall view of his whole solo career. And especially after P2 Vatican Blues last Saturday night, which is a pretty upbeat song. The rest of it is kind of mid-paced, beautiful. Like when I read some of these titles, right? Run So Far, I don't remember it. But, as soon as I hear the song, it's like, oh, that song, yeah, I love this song, right? So I'm still kind of getting to know this album and other ones, but I just love every song. And I know that Paul McCartney's, one of Paul McCartney's favorite George Harrison songs is Marwa Blues, excellent instrumental. Like I said, it's uplifting, it's got humor, it's got some, emotional lyrics too. And I guess if I had to pick a favorite song, it would be the final track, Brainwashed. And the final 2 minutes of it kind of changes and goes into this indie. It reminds me of his first album, Wonderwall, with the sitars and everything. And then there's the chanting, which I guess is by George and I forget his son's name at the moment, but him and his son are doing the chanting at the end, and it just kind of drifts into this Indian vibe that, of course, George loves. And then it kind of just ends at the end. And it's just very emotional to hear that. And so I just think this is a fantastic final album for George Harrison. I love it. And I forgot to write down my rankings, but I'm giving this a solid A, I believe. And it goes just behind, I think it's in third place. I can't see it on my finger. So there's All Things Must Pass at number 1, then Living in the Material World at number 2, and number 3 is Brainwashed. So thank you, George, for it's sad that, kind of like John Lennon, he could have released more albums, just 12 albums in all those years, studio albums. And but I think overall, of course, there's some albums that weren't as good as others. It's to be kind of expected with almost any artist, right? Every album can't be compared, I think everybody compares every new album to, well, it's not as good as All Things Must Pass. Well, what album is? There's not too many. So I think this is just a fantastic final album from George. And thanks to everybody that's left comments, and I really do appreciate it. And let me know what you think of Brainwashed. And like I said, in a few days, I'll do probably a top 25 George Harrison albums from his solo career. And that's going to be difficult. So that's it. Thanks for watching. Please remember to like the video and leave a comment below. Bye.